Oh yeah, just thought I'd do a little quick video of our sort of games room slash sort of man cave. Um, yeah, it's I've got a few bits of sports memorabilia, all boxing. I'm a huge boxing fan. Um, yeah, so I'll take you through some of the bits and bobs that I've got. Obviously, pool table, huge, huge pool fan. Um, yeah, so let's go. I'll take you through some of the pictures I've got. Um, so yeah, you got Gatty Ward, my favourite trilogy, I think. Absolutely love those two. Just two honest fighters. Absolutely brilliant fights. Pacquiao Margarito. Obviously Pacquiao, I think that was super welter was I think the highest he went. And he obviously battered Margarito in that one. And that's Pacquiao Cotto at the bottom. Pacquiao gave him a bit of a hide in that night. And we've got Hagler versus Leonard. Leonard obviously winning that one. Duran, Leonard, and this is their first one, I believe. This was the one that Duran won, and that's signed by Duran, that one. This one's Marco Antonio Barrera, the famous fight he had with Nassim Hamed, where he gave him a bit of a hiding. That one's signed by Marco Antonio Barrera, that one. This one is Hagler versus Benavidez, I think it was. And I think the first fight was like a contentious draw. Hagler battered him, but he fought him again, and he gave him a hiding in the second fight. Hagler Hearns, obviously went 3 rounds, just absolute war. Round 1 of that fight was one of the best ever in sort of best ever rounds in history, really. I think you could probably say the same for Gatty Ward. I think it was round 9 in their first fight. If you haven't seen that, have a look at that. Leonard Hearns there. This one is Ricky Hatton. He's that famous body shot to Jose Luis Castillo. We live in North Wales here, so just sort of over the English border, and so Ricky Hatton is massive this way. Sort of a local hero. Like I've actually met Ricky a couple of times. He's on like amateur shows and things like that. His lad Campbell fought amateur, and I remember meeting him. I remember once I met him in Real Town Hall. His lad fought, picked up a win that night, and one of my lads did as well. Great guy. What's that one? Marquez Pacquiao. Obviously they had 4 famous fights. And you got Tyson knocking out Berbick in 2. Being a Welshman, obviously Calzaghe, he's one of my favourite fighters. Just relentless, wasn't he? Phenomenal fight. I think that was the night he beat I forget his name, the American's name now. He's actually down there. That's him. Jeff Lacey. Hammered Lacey, one of the most sort of complete performances you'll ever see. I won a lot of money that night, actually. All my friends and family sort of had him. They thought he was going to get hurt in that fight, but no. I won a bit of money. Next one, there's Leonard Hearns. That was their first fight that Leonard won, stopped him late on. Yeah, this one obviously, yeah, it's Kawasaki Lacey there. That one's actually signed by Kawasaki. Then you got Celtic Warrior, Steve Collins, and that one's signed by him as well. Yeah, cracking fighter. That was him stopping Ben there. Another, you can see I like the big four. Another Hearns, Leonard. This was their second fight actually, and this is a real shame because, you know, Hearns clearly won the second fight. I think he knocked Leonard down twice in that fight, and he come out a draw. So they sort of robbed us of a trilogy there, I think. Sort of similar to Eubank and Ben. I always thought Ben won the second fight, and yeah, it should have really been a trilogy. You got Ali Frazier. This one's signed by Frazier. Yeah, what do you say? Ahmed Ali, and I love Frazier as well. I love his style of fighting, hard as nails. This was Pacquiao, Morales. They had 3 fights. Yeah, I think Morales won a contentious one, the first one, and then Pacquiao won the second, and then Pacquiao actually finished him in about 3, I remember, in the third. Yeah, another Duran Leonard. You've got Gatti Ward again. I've got a few Gatti Wards. I'm a big fan of both. And you got Sugar Ray Leonard versus Marvin Hagler there, and that's signed by Sugar Ray Leonard. Then you've got yeah, another Hearns Leonard, and that one's signed by Hearns there. At the bottom, Nigel Benn versus Gerald McClelland. Unfortunately, that was the fight that Gerald McClelland was brain damaged. I mean, it was a phenomenal performance from Ben, a comeback performance, but yeah, tragically for Gerald McClelland. I've got a few beer fridges here, my ice bucket and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, cool little thing. Some buds. Yeah, yeah, my Q rack and a couple of optics as well. We like a drink. Then we got Rocky Marciano versus Ezard Charles. Another Gatti Ward, and then yeah, Roy Jones, Kawasaki seeing off Roy Jones there, and Marco Antonio Barrera up top. I got my darts board, which I'm absolutely useless at. I'm quite handy at pool, but absolutely useless at darts. Doesn't matter how much I practice, it seems. Yeah, then this one's Holyfield. I think he's knocking out Buster Douglas here, I believe. He took the title off him. Yeah, and then down bottom, Tyson against Peter McNeely, and he yeah, I think he knocked him out in a couple of rounds. Yeah, then behind here, I think that's Tyson beating Razor Ruddock. I've got some gloves and that, but I'll tell you what, I'll finish the pictures off, and then yeah, we'll do the gloves last, I guess. This is quite cool. My brother got me this this light. I'll show you with the lights off. It's quite cool, actually. Yeah, so we've got Julio Cesar Chavez versus Meldrick Taylor there. I think that was the famous fight where that was probably the moment actually where he knocked him down heavy with about 5 seconds to go on the clock, and the ref stopped it. Yeah, Meldrick Taylor got to his feet, but and was way ahead on points, but yeah, ref stepped in. He, you know, So that was yeah, quite a contentious one, that one. Down here, what we got Ricky Hatton beating Costa Zoo. Great fight that was. Yeah, rough, tough performance that for Hatton. Took a fair bit of punishment to get the victory that night. Yeah, Ali Frazier, Tommy Hearns, Floyd Mayweather with a number of his belts. A couple of fight posters, Leonard versus Hearns there, and Hagler Leonard. Yeah. And then Mike Tyson, that was actually signed by Tyson, that one. And then this one's actually me and the wife meeting Sugar Ray Leonard. Yeah, a great guy. Looks, you know, despite his age, he looked about 25. I don't know how he does it. Actually, my missus, she not long had our first little in there, and I dragged her out to a boxing event. Yeah, then you got Marquez, Pacquiao. I think that's their fourth fight, the one that Marquez won quite decisively and knocked Pacquiao out. This one, Ali Foreman, the famous Rumble in the Jungle. I think there's one at the back there actually. Yeah, it's Ali. Ali on the bag. You got Roy Jones Jr. Obviously at his peak there. Yeah, Sugar Ray Leonard. This is another Tyson against Razor Ruddock. You got yeah, Calzaghe versus Mikhail Kessler. Gatti, and then the Gatti Ward trilogy sort of fight poster. Yeah, a few more optics there. Bits and bobs. This was when Paul Butler came down our boxing gym. Great guy. He's only just over the border, I think Birkenhead way. But he stopped for ages and brought his belts down. And yeah, real cracking lad. Cracking boxer as well. Yeah. Oh, that's one. Early doors, one of my early ones. Look about 10 on that. Yeah, so then you got another Tyson. I'm trying to think now who that was. I want to say Tubbs, possibly Tubbs. Don't think it was actually. His name escapes me. Then you got Hagler Duran. That's the fight poster. This was actually, I mean, no one wanted to touch Hagler at that point. He was at his peak and just unbeatable. But yeah, Duran was well up for it. He gave him a hell of a fight. That was a really good fight. Yeah, and then Pacquiao sort of shutout performance against Oscar De La Hoya. That was phenomenal. Kazagi Lacey fight poster. And this one's Duran getting hammered by Hearns. Couldn't handle him that night. I think he finished him off in about 3. Knocked him out. Yeah, then you got Eubank Ben. Excuse me. Eubank Ben, this is their second fight. Then yeah, Michael Watson. Yeah. Brilliant fighter, probably the best of the 3, if I'm honest. He was brilliant. Such a shame what happened there. Yeah, then my favourite fighter, I think he's the best of all time, Sugar Ray Robinson. And that's him. He's beaten Turpin. I think he takes his title back in this fight. Turpin beat him the first fight. Randolph Turpin, another local, well, he was a local boxer to here. Yeah, Llandudno, he was. Yeah, if you go up the Orme, there's still a bar. I think he used to own that bar, and it's still sort of got all his memorabilia and things like that. So yeah, worth a visit. Yeah, Marvellous Marvin, Ward Gatti again, and then the Julio Cesar Chavez and Mildred Taylor fight poster. Yeah, Morales versus Pacquiao 3. And that's Tubbs actually, that's Tyson beating Tubbs there. Yeah. Barrera, Morales, obviously 3 brilliant fights they had. Brutal fights. Tyson and Marquez, Pacquiao 4. Then you got Tyson knocking out Marvis Fraser. Yeah, that was absolutely brutal uppercut. Sorry for the glare. Let's have a look. Yeah, so you got Morales, Barrera 3, and Hume and Ben just despising each other there. Yeah, can't believe their sons have just signed to fight each other. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, and Mayweather, De La Hoya. Yeah, that was a cracking fight as well. Quite close actually, my opinion anyway. Yeah, I got a couple of these. Got some pillows as well. So obviously you got Sugar Ray Robinson there and Mike Tyson. This here is Holyfield versus Lewis. Obviously they had 2 good fights, didn't they? Carmen Basilio versus Sugar Ray Robinson rather. I've actually just got. I'm always buying new stuff. Don't tell the missus. But yeah, I got Carmen Basilio signed photo there. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I'll have to find a place for that. Yeah. So then Hearns Hagler face off. Mike Tyson demolishing Spinks. And yeah, another Calzaghe Lacey. I'm using these as door stops. These pumps are quite useful as door stops. Yeah. And then we've got last pictures. We've got Ben Eubank after the first fight. Eubank taking the win there. Pacquiao Marquez. That was a one that Pacquiao won. Yeah, Bruno Tyson fight poster. I like that. That's the first sort of fight really I remember watching as a kid around at my nan's and the whole family around. Yeah, that was brilliant. I think we were all rooting for Bruno that night, but yeah, there's no way he's beating Tyson. And in prime Tyson, no way. Yeah, and then Ward Gatti again. Just phenomenal how they just absolutely pummeled each other for 30 rounds, but best mates afterwards. Yeah, and that's what I love about it. Just 2 honest fighters, and such a shame that Gatti's no longer with us. And then Tyson beating Bone Crusher Smith. Yeah, so I think that's all the pictures. So I should show you some of the gloves that I've got. Stop this side. So we've got some Manny Pacquiao, like a Filipino glove. I like that one. Tyson. I like that stare down with Peter McNeely, how his eyes just followed McNeely. So I had these made up, these boxes, these frames. But yeah, I like that picture. And then you got Calzaghe. Yeah. Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, Marco Antonio Barrera, Mexican glove. And then this is dual sign. This is Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn. I've got Ricky Hatton and Mickey Ward. Yeah. And then I had this one made up. This one's actually, you know, the four kings. You've got Duran, Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Tommy Hearns, all signed gloves. Yeah, the four kings, you can see there. Yeah, so yeah, it's just cool. That's a really cool thing. Yeah, and then I've got this one down here. This is Ernie Shavers. Obviously fought Ali, you know, a number of others, Norton, things like that. He actually runs I think a security firm in Liverpool, and I remember I was out with the lads one night. I went into Yates's, and just this huge guy just greeted me at the door, and it was Ernie Shavers, and I said, "Oh, you're Ernie Shavers." Totally not cool, and he was a brilliant guy. So he signed a few autographs and that, and he and you know, a couple of weeks later we're back, and he signed me glove for me. So yeah, great guy. One of the hardest hitters you'll ever see, Ernie Shavers. And then sort of finally, this one's really my prized possession, and my brother bought me this. God knows what he paid for it, but it's a dual signed Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. Yeah, just love that. Yeah, there's a picture of the signings there. Yeah, so that's like my prized possession, that one, love that. Yeah, these are the other pillows that are the four kings, so yeah, Hagler, Duran, Leonard and Hearns. Yeah. Oh, and I've also, and another thing that I bought, again, don't tell the missus, but yeah, I bought some signed Mickey Ward shorts, so I've got to find some space for that. Yeah, like that, Mickey Ward signed shorts. So yeah, they're quite nice. I've bought a frame, and I've designed a frame to go around it with a couple of pictures in. Of him beating one of him beating Gatti and one of him beating Shane Airy. Yeah, it was a tough fight, that one. So yeah, I've got we're doing a gym upstairs, so I think I'm going to do the walls sort of similar style, sort of black and white pictures, all boxing. So some of these bits will probably go up in that gym. So I might do a video of that once it's done. Yeah, not big, room's not as big as this, but it should look quite smart. So yeah, that's oh yeah, there's this. So my dad actually picked this up for me. I think it was some like a car boot or a charity shop, and yeah, it's not like the original version of it. The original version of it actually goes for quite a lot of money. These like replicas that they done, but it's still a cool thing. I think it's still got a little bit of age to it. So it's basically two bare knuckle boxers. You got Tom Spring from he was the English champion at the time, and then you got Jack Langan, who was the Irish champion. And they actually had two fights. First one went 77 rounds, and the second one went 75 rounds. And Tom Spring won both of them, but Christ, you know, 77 and 75 rounds, you know, different world, isn't it? But yeah, that's about it. I'll just show you the light. Actually, I'll turn the lights out here and show that light. Yeah, quite cool. Yeah, so I like coming in here, shutting myself off in here, and having a few frames, having a couple of beers, you know, after the day's work. Yeah, it's all good. So yeah, yeah, hope you like it. drop us a message. If I've got anything wrong, just let me know. Just drop me a comment. And if you can tell me who that is, because I've completely forgot. What's his name? Yeah, his name escapes me. But yeah, all right, guys. Cheers very much for watching. Bye bye.